Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Adult 18 and Over Section Championship Captain's Meeting. And we're going to kind of fly through some things. Most of you probably were on the District Championship Captain's Meeting, and if not, kind of at least know kind of how it runs. So I want to go through the PowerPoint. A lot of it is going to be repeat from what you've heard in the past, but please feel free to ask questions through the chat or ask questions, just come off of mute and ask questions anytime. This is pretty laid back, so we just want to make sure you get all the information that you need for the championship that is upcoming. We also like to say thank you guys for captaining. This has been kind of it's a long haul, and the district championships were big, and now we're going to section championships, and it's just a ton of weekends that you guys have to put together and have to get your players together. So we do appreciate that a lot. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to do the PowerPoint here. So share the screen. And then, all right. Okay, so this is the 2022 Adult 18 and Over Section Championship coming up this coming weekend. This is the national championship schedule. So for the adult 18 and overs, they have split the weekends over quite a few. So the 2-5s are September 30th through October 7th in Oklahoma City. The 3-5s are same weekend in Surprise, Arizona. The 4-5s are October 7th through 9th in Surprise, Arizona. The 4-0s and the 3-0s, October 14th through 16th, one set, the 4-0s in Surprise and the 3-0s in Scottsdale. And then the adult 18 and over 5-0s are October 21st through 23rd in Scottsdale, Arizona. So those will be the playing for the advancing teams. Those are your locations. Oh, I didn't change that. Sorry, I'll change that before I send it out. This is the section championship, not the district championship. It is this coming weekend, August 13th and 14th. We are going to be outdoors. The women will be playing at Longmeadow High School. There are 12 courts there with lights for those of you that haven't been there. It's a really nice, well-kept facility, and we were there last year. It was really great. Charlie Michaelman and Siva Kumar will be there as your site directors. And the men will be playing at Amherst College. This will be the first time I've been out to Amherst at all, but looking at the pictures, it looks really great. I think they just resurfaced their courts. There are 14 courts there, and Peter and Viola Shutter will be your tournament directors there. We do have indoor backup in case of a rain washout, but it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice, so we're crossing our fingers that we don't have to tap into that. Regulation highlights, captains, same thing as districts. Please check in 45 minutes prior to your first match time. So you don't have to check in 45 minutes before the tournament starts, 45 minutes before your first match time at the location. It gives us time to hand out the player gifts and your lineup cards, and then gives you about 15 minutes to go ahead and fill up your lineup cards before you hand it back into your site directors. Captains must provide your lineups 30 minutes early, have your players ready to go. That includes the first match of the day, that 8 o'clock match. Please have everybody ready by 7:30. Once we get lineups in, we check the rosters as quickly as we can. We're going to try to get players out on the court so that we don't get backed up. So have everybody ready, shoes on, racket in hand, 7:30, and we will get everybody going as soon as we can. Everybody needs a government issued ID. We have had a couple of instances where people have lost their wallets, forgotten their wallets. A photo of their ID is fine. Passport, driver's license, whatever it happens to be. We just need to prove that who you have written down on your lineup card is who is actually playing. So please don't let people stress if they lose their wallet. It's enough stress. There is no coaching of any kind. Again, we are outdoors, so everybody can be cheering for each other and around the fences. You won't be able to hang on any fences, but you're more than welcome to cheer, just no coaching. If your players come off the court, they need to leave their racket on the court and come directly to the tournament desk if they need extra water, if they need if they have a medical emergency, or if they have any kind of a dispute that they cannot solve amongst themselves, they cannot ask you guys for help. So please remind them. We will have officials at both locations. They will be calling code violations for coaching. The format is a round robin format. So you're going to play 2 out of 3 regular sets with a 10-point Komen tiebreaker in the event of split sets. If it gets to be 6-all in either of the other sets, you play a 7-point Komen tiebreaker. And since this is the section championship and we only have 1 flight of 4 in most instances, you will just be playing 1 round robin, and the winner of the round robin will be the team that goes to the national championship. You will switch on odd games. There's no rest after game 1, and the 10-minute warm-up does include serves. This helps us keep everybody on track and keep everything on time, as if we keep that 10-minute warm-up exact as we can. Please remind your players that they need to come to the tournament desk to initial their scores, report their scores, and initial their scorecard. We need 1 player from each team to come and do that. That helps make sure that the scores are correct. And then when you sign the scorecard at the end and check all the scores, when we can then enter it into TennisLink, and the scores are verified by both teams and both captains. Same thing. This is a no default championship. Don't know that I need to go over this. You guys are pretty seasoned and understand how the defaults work. So far, this is everybody that has accepted the play from districts into the section championship, and we should be good. And these matches are subject to the 3-strike DQ. So I'm going to let Pete go over this. He explains it way better than I do.
Well, basically what happens is after every match played, there's a report that's run that calculates the level of play for all of the players involved. And national regulations only allow players to be able to generate dynamics so far into the next level, and still continue to play. So it's really all governed by national, and we have a report. If a person, if a player strikes out, then the matches are reversed and that player can no longer participate. It doesn't happen that often. When it does happen, of course, it's very discouraging. I would say that, I would say that the strike level is very high. So generally people know that they've got a real risk when a strikeout does occur. The captain and the player would get notified right away. Since we're playing single round robin, there's nothing, it doesn't apply to if you advance to a final or a semifinal. I really don't know what else to say about it. If there are any questions, please ask me.
Everybody good on that one? Feel free to go ahead and ask any questions you have about that. About anything so far, actually. Okay. All right, so we are going to go on to medical timeouts. So according to the Forensic Court, medical timeout consists of 2 time periods. This is based on, it kind of is a little bit of a gray area because it's based on having a trainer or medical staff on site, which we do not. So there's an evaluation time, and then there is a treatment time, and the evaluation time starts when we see that there's an injury, we see that there's a problem, and the treatment time is when an ice pack is given or a medical staff would apply any kind of treatment that happens. That treatment time is the 3 minutes. The total amount of time for evaluation and treatment is 15 minutes. So if one of the staff has to come onto the court, that evaluation time starts when we start to walk towards the court. The treatment time would start if we handed you an ice pack or if you had somebody that was working out cramps. So it is a little.
Christy, could I just say something on
Yeah,
this?
please. Yeah.
Since we're having officials, if there was an injury on the court, the tournament desk is probably going to locate the official and have the official go over there, and as opposed to the desk, if at all possible. Now they'll be doing the same things that Christy is talking about, but they would be the ones who would administer it.
Yes, thank you. I keep forgetting. So, and that is, there's no coaching allowed during medical timeout, so they also will monitor anybody that is out there. Bleeding timeouts are a little bit different because it does sometimes take extra time to clean up blood. If somebody has a nosebleed or somebody scrapes themselves bad enough that there actually is blood on the court. So there's the bleeding timeout consists of 15 minutes to stop the visible bleeding, clean up the court, and dispose of contaminated items. If for some reason we have an instance like this, we'll do our best to stay within that 15 minutes, but blood can be a little bit iffy, especially when we're using somebody else's courts. So hopefully that won't happen. You can also only have a medical timeout one time for each medical issue. So if you cramp in your right leg and take a medical timeout, you cannot take another medical timeout for cramping in your left leg. Cramping is considered one medical condition. But if you cramped in your right leg in the first set and you rolled your ankle in the second set, you could take a medical timeout for the rolled ankle in the second set. So there's, they just don't want to continue to take medical timeouts for the same condition. All right, so because we have officials, and this has been the same with the sites and the site directors in the past, officials who, if they call a code violation for any reason, whether it's unsportsmanlike conduct, whether it's cursing, breaking a racket, anything that is a code violation according to Friend at Court, will have national suspension points attached to it. So the calculation tables are on this slide. It tells you if you get 10 to 17 in a rolling 12-month period, you would be suspended for 3 months. For instance, typically your first code violation would be 1 point. If it's egregious, the officials have the ability to assess more points depending on how bad the behavior is. They will be keeping track, and these will be going into the system as soon as the championship is over. The reason that we're bringing this to your attention is that it's a national suspension point system, is new, and if you get suspension points in New England, they carry with you in the entire United States. So if you were to go to Florida and you were suspended in New England, you would not be able to play in Florida as well. Or if you had 8 points in New England and you got 2 more points in Florida, that would count as your 10 points for a suspension. So just know that all of these are nationally attached to your member account and your players' member accounts. So these do not require a grievance when it comes to championships. It is an automatic point application depending on the code violation at the championships. All right, more fun stuff. This is better. Photos, photos, photos. We are trying to get everybody to post more photos and put more fun things with League out there on the Facebook pages. And when I talked to the marketing department, they said the easiest way for them to get League pictures out is if you could direct message them via their Instagram. Tell us a story about the picture, let them know what's going on. You can also email them you can email them to me and I can forward them to James in the marketing department, or you can email them directly to James if you have his email. And the other thing is, James keeps telling me that the iPhones now use this HEIC as a general format, and it's easier if they're in a JPEG. And so this link, when you guys get this, will show you how to change your iPhone settings so that they're automatically a JPEG setting. But we really do want some pictures of a lot of fun things that are happening. We know that when you guys come to championships, you do a ton of things other than tennis. So we would love to hear what's happening and see what's going on with the with your teams and your friendships. All right, a few FAQs. No courts will be available for practice before or during the championship. If you'd like to practice, please find courts at other facilities or public parks. This is a typical regulation that we have. We have had some issues where people come up and are trying to grab court space. We just don't have enough for everybody to practice. That's the problem. So we can't have one team practice when the other teams don't have the time or the space. So please don't come up to the courts and practice early.
Could I just say one thing?
Yes.
Does this apply also to before the first round in the morning? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what I referred to you before?
I do. So the teams that are playing in that first round, is that
right?
The teams that are playing that first round, if they're going to be on court anyway, can come early and practice. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Typically, we'll clear them off, 20 minutes, half an hour before. But if they're there early, they get to hit the balls around.
So that's only before the very first match and the teams that are playing in that first round of the day at both locations. I should have changed this. Bathrooms, we're going to have 6 porta potties at both locations. They will be cleaned on Saturday night. There will not be showers because we're in the outdoor facilities. So there's no locker rooms. I'll take that off before I send this to you. At this time, there are no COVID protocols in place. Masks are optional on and off the court, in and around any of the tournament spaces. So please be respectful to anybody who wears a mask and anybody who does not wear a mask. Please bring plenty of water and snacks with you. Water only is allowed on court. The question that keeps coming up with this, really clear liquids on the court. We don't want to spill red Gatorade and stain the courts. If you have snacks, just keep them inside your bag so that we also don't mess up the courts with any kind of food products. And whatever you bring onto the courts, please bring off of the courts with you. No alcohol at either one of these facilities. These both are schools, and so there's no alcohol allowed at either one of these facilities. So does anybody have any questions about anything that we've gone over? All right, you guys are a quiet bunch tonight.
Hi, quick question. I just said it in the chat, but what about water access, like drinkable water? Are there going to be any water jugs or whatever on the court?
So the Amherst location does have water fountains that are filtered water. The high school location, Pete, do you remember? I feel like they have a water fountain, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I really don't remember.
The Longmeadow, the high school location is right across the street from a Big Y also. So if you or your team needs any kind of food or snacks, it's a 2-minute walk to the Big Y to grab some extra food. All right, so a few important links that will be attached is the captain's Facebook page, the championship Facebook page. This is the ShowPad link that has all the regulations and the schedules in it. Our USTA New England online store has section and district championship shirts. It also has a lot of other items that are USTA New England, USTA League, mugs and cups and all sorts of things. And 10% of all purchases go back to the New England Tennis and Education Foundation, which helps us support the kids programs in New England for some of our underserved communities. So we really would like for everybody to support the online store if at all possible, and grab your t-shirts from there. So those are all hyperlinks. So when you guys get the PDF, you'll be able to click through them and see all of the pages. All right, and good luck, everyone. All right, so that is the presentation. Does anybody have anything else they have questions about?
Christy, it's Lorena Coffin here. I'm sorry, I got on a little bit late. Did you say how many courts were at Long Meadow High School?
Long Meadow High School has 12 and Amherst has 14.
Okay, thank you.
Sure,
And are they hard court?
they are hardcore.
Okay, thank you.
And Long Meadow has lights. So in the instance that we have any kind of a delay due to rain and we need to play a little bit into the evening, last year, one of the things we noticed is that the lights do pull in bugs. So please bring sunscreen for the outdoor and please bring bug spray for your players. Or have them bring bug spray for you.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
do our best to get you guys off before the lights come on both days.
Hi, quick question. Are dogs allowed to come watch? Referring to Amherst. But
I can check for you. I can't, because we're going to be outdoors. I would think as long as they are not going to bark and not going to chase balls and are not allowed on the court, they should be fine. And if they're a service animal, they're definitely fine. But I'll find out from the campus if they're allowed.
Thanks. And then one on the 3-strike rule. Sorry if I missed this. Is there any advance notice of like somebody having 2 strikes?
There's no notice.
Okay, no worries. Thanks. And then last one. Sorry. I think you may have already answered this, but for the 5-0s, there's only 2 teams and 3 matches, and I just wanted to confirm that regardless of what happens in the first 2 matches, the third one would be played.
That's correct.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm just going to confirm for the 3-strike, that only applies, it's easier to say, it does not apply to computer rated players. It's only for self-rated and appeal. That's still true?
That is correct. Self-rate and appeal players only.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Last minute questions? All right, I'm going to stop the recording.